Live tonight, the NFL on ESPN, home of Super Bowl 40.
If you just joined us, surprise, surprise, 16-7. Bills over the Patriots fourth quarter, and Kelly Holcomb is outproducing Super Bowl MVP Tom Brady. Twice an MVP.
Well, the one thing that Kelly Holcomb has had in his hip pocket is Willis McGahee. The Bills have run the ball extremely well tonight so that they haven't wound up in bad situations for Kelly Holcomb.
Blitz coming. Brady steps up. Branch to the 24-yard line. Well, if you blitz and don't get there, you're in trouble.
And when you get yourself in a jam, you go find your MVP and your all-pro and the guy that you count on. They've talked about Deion Branch having the best year so far. And
I'll tell you what, I'd throw the red flag out. They're going to throw it. They're throwing the flag out.
They got it out.
Mike Mularkey threw the flag out because they saw this ball bounce.
It was over on that sideline, too.
Terrence McGee was beaten, but Buffalo, before the ball is snapped, gets that challenge flag out.
Buffalo is challenged and ruling on the field, but the pass is complete.
You'd like to see the league do something about those teams trying to out-hustle the replay system. We'll check on this when we come back.
The road to the ultimate prize of European football continues with Match Day 4 of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN. Live Tuesday, Real Betis is home to take on Group G leaders Chelsea. Then it's off to Norway, where Rosenborg plays host to Real Madrid. Then PSV is home in Eindhoven to take on Serie A elite club AC Milan. Then on Wednesday, Spanish holders mighty Barcelona takes on the pride of Greece, Panathinaikos. And on Friday, French club Lille plays Big Red Manchester United. Inter Milan of the Serie A takes on Porto. Portugal's other club in the Champions League, Benfica, faces Spanish club Villarreal. And in a huge game, Juventus of the Serie A is home to play Germany's Bayern Munich. It's Match Day 4 of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
And that's a good job by the chain crew.
He's just figuring out how am I going to tell these fans without them throwing something at me.
Or how much time is left on the clock is the other thing they can be checking.
That's right, because the ball was caught inbounds.
Yeah, there you go.
Now remember, the rule says that the replay, the video will cut off after 90 seconds. As far as making a decision on the challenge, you can look at other things after that, but not the replay part of it.
And a lot of times when we see the referee under the hood, the problem, what you're doing is what you were talking about, Paul, is he's trying to figure out where the ball was thrown from, where the ball was spotted.
And how much time has to be put back on the clock or taken off the clock or whatever you want to do with it. What do you think? What do you think?
I think it's an incompletion.
I do too.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Catch. First down. Buffalo is charged with a timeout.
Well, what they're saying is there wasn't enough to overturn it.
As I said, did his arm get under? You can't. It's difficult, I think, to make the decision. See, I just don't know. I mean, to me, it looks like it moves, but you don't know whether his arm's under there. I sort of agree with you both guys.
Yeah, but you told all these fans in front of us here that it was a completion. That's why they're hollering Joe.
Well, you know.
He's just playing to the crowd.
Being nice to you.
The Bills are now out of challenges, and now the officials are going to whistle this dead. And
Please reset the game clock to 9:45.
There it is.
Buffalo is charged with a timeout, so the clock should not start.
And while we have a second, we want to congratulate our partner, Joe Theismann. He's been nominated for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. An honor that is long overdue, partner.
Thank you, my friends. I appreciate it.
Well, good luck, Joseph.
Thank you. It is a tremendous honor. Just to be nominated.
Brady fakes one way, goes back to Gibbons on the flanker screen. Boy, that was a heck of a play by McGee because he came up and messed up the timing of
Man,
that.
did he make a great play.
This is such a huge ball game for both of these clubs. New England came in as the only team in the AFC East that did not have a losing record. If they lose this game, they would, and Buffalo would go to 4-4 and swap places. The Bills, who haven't finished first in this division since 1995, would go into first place.
Not only that, they'd be 3-0 in the division.
Dillon on the draw. Sidesteps a couple of tackles. Corey Dillon down to the 12-yard line.
You know, you want to talk about being faked out. Lawyer Malloy, number 36, he gets him. Watch his feet. Watch his feet. Watch his feet. He sees Corey Dillon. Watch his feet. Whoops. Whoop. Whoop. Oh. Hey. Ooh.
If you stand in one place long enough, somebody twice as big as you is going to come and hit you.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
When you're that close to the line of scrimmage, somebody real big is going to hit you. And Lawyer Malloy spends a lot of time in other teams' backfields.
Dillon now has 61 yards rushing. He did not start the ball game. Patrick Pass did at the running back spot, but Pass got hurt. Dillon shakes a tackle in the backfield. Justin Bannon came through, had a shot at him, could have caught him for a 2-3 yard loss and just slipped off of.
Just shows you how strong Corey Dillon really is. Bannon is a big man, and he had a direct shot at Corey Dillon, and Corey Dillon just shook him off.
And there's a guy who just really hasn't practiced a lot. He's been hurt. Got activated late in the week.
New England really wants a touchdown down here to make it a field goal game. Quick out. No. Tim Dwight down to about the 6-inch line. His first catch of the night. The speedy little flanker.
And a tough one, too. Does he get in the end zone? Good call by the official. The ball never breaks the plane. Now he's on the ground before that ball ever gets anywhere near the goal line. Just getting it out quick.
That is going to be first and goal. And the injured player, Troy Vincent, the safety. Fans below us sort of playing with us right now because during the last time out during the challenge, we were trying to tell them what we were seeing on replays. Buffalo fans were standing up cheering one way, the New England fans the other way.
And there's a lot of New England fans in front
Well, they want Joe to lie to him again, and Joe will.
that one's a good half-yard short. I think you give the ball to Corey Dillon. Just keep on pounding it.
First and goal, Dillon. Touchdown.
And you've got some momentum running the football. Feet, give that offensive line a chance. You've got to make everybody feel like they're contributing. Corey Dillon did all the work to get here. You don't want to throw a play action pass and steal his thunder in the line. So give him a chance to feel good about it.
New England comes right back.
And you'll notice they ran to the right side where their veterans are. Stephen Neal and Tom Ashworth.
And they had Dan Klecko over there as well. They have been in the forefront of using defensive players in offensive goal line formations. A 61-yard drive that took only 3:01 for Tom Brady and the Patriots. They're back within 2.
The PGA Tour presents the 2005 World Golf Championships American Express Championship. Harding Park Golf Course in San Francisco hosted the event where two of the biggest names in golf and most popular players in the world, John Daly and world #1 Tiger Woods, found themselves in a sudden death playoff. After the second hole, Tiger emerged victorious when Daly missed a short par putt. For Woods, it was his 6th win of the year, and he has now won an incredible 10 of the possible 19 individual World Golf Championships. Tiger has his putter to thank for his 46th career victory. He led the field in putting average and did not record a single 3-putt for the week. Congratulations, Tiger Woods, the 2005 World Golf Championships American Express Championship champion.
First place in the AFC East on the line. The Bills on top of the Patriots, 16-14. 7:06 to go in the ball game on Sunday Night Football here on ESPN. Terrence McGee and Josh Reed are deep. McGee averaging 34.3 yards a return, #1 in the NFL. Low bouncing kick taken by Reed. Reed out to the 30. Earlier, Susie had a chance to catch up with Patriots owner Robert Kraft.
Well, he said he followed your philosophy of measure 9 times and cut once. So what lengths did you want him to go?
Well, I say that to my sons. The important decisions in life, we have to measure 9 times and cut once. And I told Teddy this was one of those deals. And he and Heidi spent a lot of time and energy with this. And because it's something that there's no formulas. They don't teach this stuff in business school. And but he's a very intelligent man, and he more than anyone knows what's right and what isn't right. And he took all the information in very seriously. And I'm satisfied that we got good medical opinions that he could make his evaluation from.
Even after all that, why not have him sign a waiver of liability?
Well, you know, that's not the spirit of our relationship, and I'm satisfied that he's made the right decision. And although I like lawyers, you can't let them run your life. And our relationship with Teddy Bruschi is not about signing releases and other things.
And the ball goes over to the New England Patriots as Roosevelt Colvin picks up the football.
He just runs right by the tackle, Gandy, and right on back to Kelly Holcomb on his blind side. Kelly Holcomb never sees Roosevelt Colvin coming. Take a look at here he comes on the backside. Kelly Holcomb's looking downfield. Roosevelt Colvin not only hits him in the back, but also knocks the ball out and then gets the fumble. How good is that?
That makes up for that 15-yard penalty that he had.
They take over at the 23-yard line. An enormous break. They are already in field goal range. Brady fakes one way, goes back the other, completes the pass to the 7-yard line to Deion Branch.
And Tom Brady all night has thrown the ball really low. He knows if he gets this throw up at least one more foot. Good pump to the left, and look at how low this ball is thrown. He has thrown everything low tonight. He gets that up, it's a walk-in touchdown. But they've utilized the pump an awful lot to move the safeties, Lawyer Malloy and Troy Vincent.
Boy, and that ball came perilously close to hitting the ground. Dillon. Touchdown! What a turnaround for the New England Patriots.
It's just, it looked like a football team in the first half that was uninspired offensively. What happened is the Buffalo Bills answered their touchdown in the beginning of the second half, and now they're awake. It's just amazing. You'd say, oh, teams can't turn it on and turn it off. What we're seeing here with the New England Patriots is they have been able to turn it on in the second half, in particular, Corey Dillon.
And they have turned it on big time in the last minute and 4 seconds when they have scored 2 touchdowns. And I want to say one other word about that Robert Kraft interview. There aren't a lot of owners in this league that would say, I don't need to sign, I don't need to have anything. I don't need to have that liability waiver. Robert Kraft says he doesn't need it. He's that kind of guy.
And the other thing he wanted to do is he wanted him to go find somebody to tell him he couldn't play. He wanted him to find a doctor to tell Teddy Bruschi and say, look, I don't think you should do it. Couldn't find anyone.
And that's what Teddy kept looking for when he talked to us the other day. He said, really, we were looking for somebody to say, you know, this is not a great idea. You've already had a wonderful career. Why don't you pass on this? And all he found were people that said, hey, you and Heidi make the decision because you're just fine. Now you're healthy, and if you want to play again, go do it.
Well, the thing about it is one interview that he did that I looked at, it was very short and very simple. He said, if you're asking me why I'm coming back because everybody has cleared me, that's number one. He said, because I really miss it and I want to play. And that's all he really had to say. And that's all Kraft wanted to hear. I agree with you. What Kraft wanted is someone to say, hey, you know what? You can't play. There's something wrong. And he would have taken that advice.
And it's good that his offense woke up to help him out on a night like this.
And Bob Kraft is a classy guy, which leads us to, you know, the sad point that we have to make, that we all lost a friend, Wellington Mara of the New York Giants. And when you speak about classy owners, he was one of the classiest people that's ever been associated with any sport or anything else. Wellington Mara was a wonderful person,
a true
and he's
icon.
Going to be missed.
A true icon.
No question about it.
He really wasn't just the owner of the Giants. He was a part of the ownership of the National Football League. He went and beyond the Giants. It was a pleasure to know him. It was a pleasure to spend time with him. And
well, I believe for the past several decades, he has been the moral conscience of the entire National Football League. Reed on the return for Buffalo, and now the Bills, and here comes a flag at the end of this, and another flag comes in late. The Bills applauding. Ron Winter huddling with his officials. Buffalo now with a real test with 5:26 to go in this ball game.
And more than a field goal down, which means they're going to have to go for a touchdown.
Well, yeah, but don't get out of what you've been doing.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Tripping, number 53 of the kicking team. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, late hit, number 58 of the kicking team. That penalty is assessed 15 yards. And a first down.
That's Matt Chatham, and that's a huge break for Buffalo. Gives them tremendous field position. If you're a Buffalo fan, you know that they have not been great at comebacks. They have lost each of the last 19 games when they trailed it all in the fourth quarter.
The one thing they haven't gotten so far this year on the road is Willis McGahee running the way he's running tonight. And just don't go away from what you were doing. Your game plan is still back intact. You've got 5 minutes and 26 seconds. You still have 2 timeouts remaining plus the 2 minutes. You've got plenty of time to do what you have to do.
Plenty of time and great field position to start with. McGahee keeping the legs pumping, crosses the 50.
And one
Picks
other
up about 3.5. Excuse me, Joe.
I'm sorry, Mike. And one other thing, I think you're in 4-down territory in this part of the game. I think you're going to run the clock down, and I think if you get 4th and a yard, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, unless it's really long yards, you have to try and convert them. Because if you give the ball up, you may not see it back.
They have 2 timeouts left. McGahee, another hard run. He's inside the 45. This is going to leave them about 1.5 yards.
You may be getting your wish. You got 3rd and about 1.5 yards. And again, don't get away from McGahee. McGahee's the guy that kept you moving all night long. He hadn't done it up until this game. Don't take him out of the game now. Leave him in the game.
And Buffalo taking its time, which would lead you to believe that you may be right about the 4-down territory.
I just think you don't want to give the ball back to New England under any circumstance.
McGahee just has the first down. Brewski hit him, couldn't stop him in time. You saw the official perhaps motioning that he had the first down.
Now let me say this. Buffalo's going to have to start throwing the football. They are not going to be able to get in the end zone with 3- and 4-yard runs. So now that they've moved this close, now for sure I think they're in 4-down territory. Now you can start to throw the football, and Kelly Holcomb's going to have to get it out of his hand quickly. I would put a tight end on the other side of his blind side, not on his front side.
What a night for McGahee. Before that carry, 30 for 131 yards. Now let's go to John Anderson for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
Thank you, gentlemen. Start in New York. You fellas touched on it. Wellington Mara, his team, playing hard and well for the Duke. Tiki Barber, more than 200 rushing yards. G-Men whitewashed the Redskins 36-0. And Vikings plowed under by the Panthers 38-13. QB Dante Culpepper plowed over. Right knee injury, could be season-ending ligament damage. MRI results tomorrow. SportsCenter right after the game. So you fellas finish up, please.
Thank you, John. Holcomb. Good blocking, incomplete to Shelton. Teddy Bruschi out there to cover.
The Buffalo Bills, that play took about 40 seconds to run. I mean, you're down by 5 points, guys. I mean, you got to move this thing along.
See, Paul, it may be 3rd and 7, it's 3rd and 6. It's 2 downs to pick it up. I mean, they're running the clock down. They're trying to manage the clock as well as manage the distances.
3rd and 5.
Where you have to find Eric Moles, I think. Find them somehow, some way.
And now Sean Williams will turn around and call a timeout. That is their second. It shouldn't be a big factor unless they continue to run the ball time after time, because there's still 2:55 to go on the clock. Back in a moment.
The NBA on ESPN. Live Wednesday night. It's our first game of the season. #1 draft pick Andrew Bogut and the Milwaukee Bucks meet Jason Kidd and the New Jersey Nets. Bucks, Nets, live Wednesday night. The NBA on ESPN.
2 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the ballgame. We're in New England, where the score is a 5-point differential. New England on top of Buffalo. The Bills apparently have made up their mind. This is the last gasp. They are down to 1 timeout.
And I like the fact that Shad Williams, #20, took the timeout, because if you take a penalty, now you're 3rd down and 11.
Holcomb goes to the shotgun, and the officials step in. And the timeout by New England.
It's like a chess game.
Can you call timeout in chess?
Yeah, different moves, different looks, and you go timeout, and you leave. Bobby Fischer walked away, didn't he?
Well, he left the country.
Well, let's see. He took a timeout.
That's a long
He took a timeout.
Is there any reason why you couldn't fake the ball to McGahee and then throw it to him?
Yeah,
well, they've been successful when they've done that.
I don't think they're going to buy into the play fake at this point.
Not at this point.
I really don't. I think the play fakes have gone away.
No, I'm just saying fake it to him and then throw it to him. He can't catch.
3rd and 5 with 2:55 to go. The situation, the Bills have 1 timeout remaining, and that's all, just 1.
It's not imperative that you pick this up, to be honest with you. If you have to dump it off, you look for it, but if you have to dump it off to Willis McGahee or Shad Williams, that's fine, because I believe you are in that 4-down territory. I'd still try and get the ball to Eric Mould somehow.
Holcomb down the middle, Molds, 1st down, and a flag inside the 30. But Eugene Wilson is saying that's offensive interference, and he's right.
You just cannot, as a receiver, get your hands away from your body as you push off.
Pass interference. Offense number 80. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
I'll tell you what.
Well, what's amazing is...
Not much, is it?
It
Whoa,
really isn't
man.
much.
Whoa.
That's a heck of a time to make that call.
Eric Mould is coming off.
Well, yeah.
They both have their hands in front of each other.
But you just can't, defensive players can't contact you. You can't contact them.
Seeing it the second time, I now think it's a good call, especially since Samuel nearly went down. But it's huge for Buffalo because it's 3rd and 16. This is not a 3rd and 16 kind of offense. Pressure coming on Holcomb. Throws. This one is complete. Reed inside the 40. That'll still leave them with about 7 yards.
But now you're right back to where we were just before. If they didn't make it on that last 3rd and 6, you turn around, you wind up, now you're in a 4-down situation. Good protection up front. Nice job by Josh Reed.
Boy, Hank Poteet almost got in there.
Another guy that was activated just this week, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely.
But I like the throw by Kelly Holcomb because he picked up half of it. Now that gives him really a good chance to pick up the other half.
Play of the game for Buffalo. The official blows it dead.
New England calls a timeout.
That's twice New England has used a defensive timeout in this series. Just trying to make sure they have things right, I guess.
Well, with the secondary problems that they have had and the 4 wide receiver set that the Buffalo Bills are throwing up there, I guarantee you when the Bills get into a formation and they start movement, Bill Belichick is looking at his defense and saying, I don't like it. Stop it right now.
Well, think about this. They have lost Rodney Harrison, Gus Scott, Tyrone Poole, Randall Gay, Gus Scott, did I say?
James Sanders.
Chad Scott.
I mean, they have lost a bunch of guys. Poteet just signed. Arturo Freeman signed 2 weeks ago. So you're right. They're playing with guys, and we saw a replay earlier. People just don't know where to line up sometimes.
I would throw the ball anywhere but to Eric Moulds. Now, even though you say
Why?
go to him, because there's going to be more than one guy on Eric Moulds. Somebody is going to be open in the middle of this field.
Well, that's the place I think you have to throw it. And whoever winds up in the middle, that's the guy that's going to have to make the play. The big thing is you've got to be able to protect Kelly Holcomb, because you know he's not running anywhere.
Look at the middle of the field.
Reed is in the slot to the right. Holcomb with time. Throws. That's not anywhere near a first down.
See, you can't make that
I don't understand that at all.
You can't make that throw. I just don't believe as a quarterback you can make that throw. If you have to throw an interception, so what? You've got to throw the ball more than 7 yards down the field.
You can't expect a receiver in that situation to make a catch and pick up 7 yards after he grabs the ball. We have reached a 2-minute warning at 1:56. New England will have it when we come back.
ESPN Sport Legends presents Zina Garrison. More than a quarter of a century after Althea Gibson crossed the colour line in women's professional tennis, Zina Garrison followed in her footsteps. Garrison won 14 singles titles in 15 years, but more importantly, made contributions that helped players like the Williams sisters, who made their own mark on the game.
She didn't have a lot coming up, and she had to overcome often being shunned, being the victim of racism.
It didn't matter that I was one of the top juniors in the world. I still wasn't able to play at certain places.
Zina was thought of as being the, since Althea Gibson, the first African-American female player that was really going to do something.
Zina Garrison did make it easier for Venus and Serena Williams. She showed people that, hey, I can come from Houston, Texas, I can be black, and I can challenge for major titles.
Top plays of the week as well. That's all on SportsCenter. The Patriots, stuffed in the first half, have come back to take this lead on homecoming night for Teddy Bruschi. Let's go to Susie.
Mike, I think Tom Brady has everybody fooled. Here's a great example of perception versus reality. Brady's teammates see him as ultra calm, the same whether they win or lose, even keeled. They marvel at how coolly and dispassionately he orchestrates those game-winning drives. 19 in his career, 19 game-winning drives, the most in the NFL since 2001. And Brady says, are they nuts? I'm fiery. I don't feel calm inside. It's all a facade. We'll see what he can do here.
He's done such a marvelous job. And you're right, Susie, on the field, he just looks like Mr. Cool, Mr. Clutch. He's just doing the job every single time he has to.
I think he and Peyton Manning have the visual demeanor of guys that just are strolling through the park. And They just don't feel the pressure.
Dillon doing his best to try to stay in bounds. Coy Wire comes up to make a tackle. 1:39 and counting.
See, this is where the 40-second clock just gives the offense such an advantage. Not that I don't mind it. I would love to see inside 2 minutes the league consider a 25-second play clock so that teams will have a chance and games can get even more exciting at the end.
You have a chance at the beginning of the game. You already have 58 minutes to have a chance. You don't need the last 2 minutes.
I know.
Now this is a third down situation. Buffalo, unless they give up a first down here, should be able to get the ball back on a punt with a few seconds left. Now Tom Brady is coming over, and he is really steamed at the officials because he used a hard count and thought he had Buffalo offside on that play, and so did I.
Did they call it?
They did not. Clock is running. There is a 18 second difference between the play clock and the game clock.
There it is. He really thinks that he gets Justin Bannon,
right,
the nose tackle, to jump off sides, and he was sure of it because it was right in front of him.
Now they can afford to let this run down. Instead, they turn around and call the timeout with 1 second to go. 21 seconds on the clock. If you're Buffalo here, and I am always amazed in this situation, you see teams that don't go for the punt block, and I don't understand.
Well, first of all, if I'm New England, I'll kick it out of bounds. All right, I just do not take a chance on him returning it. And I agree with you, Mike. I think you have to try and create a play.
Now, what they tell the punter is this.
Get it out.
Yeah, as fast as you can. As soon as you touch that ball, kick it. Forget about all your steps and all your form and all that other jazz.
So they're not going to ice him?
Ice a punter. First of all, they have no timeouts. I can't ice.
I know.
Roscoe Parrish is the deep man. He's back to the 10, and we've introduced new language into the NFL. We're going to ice the punter. Or as Paul said, you want to ice the fat guy. Miller. No pressure. Line drive out of there. Parrish can't catch it. Chases it all the way back to the goal line. Trying to get to the corner. And out of bounds. And we're down to 3 seconds left. Teddy Bruschi told us the other day when we said, how much do you think you can go in this ball game? Considering your conditioning, you haven't played in 8 months, how long can you go? And he said, I can play the whole game. He was in on 64 of 77 defensive plays.
He was in on that last punt team.
Yes,
he was down. He was the guy down in the field on the punt team.
And his wife, Heidi,
has to be as proud as anybody.
How about that?
Oh, my God, this baby's over.
And look at the defense New England has set up. You want prevent?
This is
prevent.
This is a 110.
And now we're going to see a series of laterals.
Forward lateral.
Except that one was forward by about 5 yards. Shawn Williams caught the lateral and turned like the game was rugby and shoveled it right on up the field. What a night for Teddy Bruschi. And I can tell you honestly, we felt privileged to be part of this because Teddy Bruschi is such a good guy. It was a lot of fun to be here while he came back. Let's go to Susie.
Teddy.
Teddy Bruschi, I'll tell you what, he's about as tired as you're going to get.
Our final score, New England 21, Buffalo 16. They're in first place. Stay tuned for Sports Center coming up next. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Susie Culber, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
Please drive, he wants to kill me.
Sometimes a ride means a run for your money.
What's this about $3 million?
Remember, it's Mickey. You'll see. It'll be different now.
If we lose her, we lose the money.
Or run for your life.
Run! You have until midnight.
You met Sean in prison.
Want it? You got it!
Hollywood Flies, Sunday at these times, new and exclusive on Super Movies.